Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with the next competitive Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon moveset video guide. Today we're going to be talking about Lycanroc Dusk form. Now, this is a new exclusive mon for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Before we get into it, I just want to say there's a playlist down below. I encourage you to check that out. If you missed any of my other guides, I'm going through all the new Pokemon, and then since you guys have asked, I'll be going through a lot of the Pokemon that got updated movesets, whether it be move tutors, new bred moves, or anything for Ultra Sun and Moon. So I'll be talking about that as we keep going, and I also will be showcasing this Pokemon later today. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those links are down below. Stay up to date and know when I'm streaming. So, this Pokemon is different from Lycanroc Midday and Midnight. If you actually check over here real quick, as you can compare the stats, it's stronger than both Midday and Midnight. It's base 117 versus the base 115 that both of them are. But in order to be that strong, they seem to have taken 2 base points out of speed. So now it's 350 speed max as opposed to base 112. So it's slower than Lycanroc Midday, however stronger than both Midday and Midnight, and it has a combination of their move pools. So it has access to a Accelerock as well as counter. And another thing, this Pokemon now has Tough Claws. Now, Tough Claws is actually pretty cool because with the move tutors that we got from Ultra Sun and Moon, this Pokemon now has Drill Run. Drill Run is slightly weaker than Earthquake naturally, but with the Tough Claws boost, Drill Run's actually stronger than Earthquake. And it has a high critical hit ratio, so it has that 12% chance, or 12.5% chance, whatever you want to call it, percent chance to crit, and at the same time, it's 95% accurate. So you trade 5 accuracy for a higher crit chance, and you're stronger than Earthquake due to Tough Claw. So that's pretty cool. But base 110 speed, speed time with Latios, base 117 special attack, or attack, excuse me, base 55 special attack, and a decent move pool, especially with the buff to Drill Run, because with Drill Run, it now has Edge, Quake, Rock plus Ground, near perfect coverage. So it also has its own Z move. Now, Lycanroc Z becomes Splintered Storm Shards, and it's a really strong Z move. And on top of that, it also breaks any terrain that's on the field. So that's interesting to think about. For example, if Psychic Terrain is up and you can't use priority moves, if you use this move, it does break the terrain, as well as, becomes this really strong rack type attack. So that's cool. The first that we have is the SD coverage set, as you guys have been looking at for a while. But this takes advantage of the fact that it does have Tough Claws. So Swords Dance, Stone Edge, that's your main stab. Drill Run is your main way of dealing with steel types, which will otherwise wall you. As you can see right here from this calc, you have +2 Drill Run versus max HP Magearna, 100% chance to KO. If you actually go neutral, it's a guaranteed KO on Magearna as well. So that's really cool. We'll actually compare that to Earthquake just so you guys can see the damage. Like I said, it's just slightly stronger, but it makes a difference for a guaranteed KO and everything like that. So really cool to see how Tough Claws actually plays a role right here. Stone Edge again is your main or your only form of stab, and with Stone Edge plus Z, it becomes Splintered Storm Shards, and that is enough at +1. This is Max Defense Landorus, +1, 87 to 102. So after Stealth Rocks, Max Defense Landorus, if it is running Rocky Helmet, not if it does have Leftovers Recovery, Max Defense Landorus goes down. And this is different than, I'll show you a regular Z move right here, Continental Crush. It's stronger than Continental Crush. So that's a regular Z move versus your actual own Z move. So Fire Fang is your next move, and because of the Tough Claws boost, Fire Fang is a guaranteed KO on Fizz Def Scissor. I'm talking max HP, max defense Scissor goes down to +2 Fire Fang. Ferrothorn goes down. Skarmory takes 58 to 60 something percent Fizz Def Skarmory. So Tough Claws being boosted, this is pretty much your all-around coverage set that you can use with Lycanroc to pretty much hit everything. And I think this is the only set you really need to use when it comes to coverage. And we'll talk about more other options that we do have. So the second set is the Edge Quake set. Like I said, this Pokemon does have access to a Accelerock, which Midday Lycanroc gets. So this one can take advantage of a Accelerock, and with a Tough Claws boost, it's actually pretty cool. Considering it gives you that priority move versus Pokemon like Greninja, Tapu Koko, Naganadel, though I'm not sure if that Pokemon is going to be around for that much longer. Not trying to say that I know anything that the OU Council is doing, but I might have heard a thing here or there. But yeah, it's basically the same set. Stone Edge, Drill Run, it's near perfect coverage for this Pokemon, and Accelerock just gives you that priority for faster Pokemon, whether it be like Thundurus, whether it be Tapu Koko at +2. It can do some work. Actually, in other options, I did put Life Orb, and I'll show you some Life Orb calcs right here, but this is +2 Life Orb Accelerock versus Tapu Koko, 83 to 98%, pretty much a KO after rocks. You have Naganadel taking 92 to 109, just to show you all how +2 can make, or how +2 can work. So you see +2 Accelerock Life Orb versus Greninja is actually a KO versus Gren, and of course without the Life Orb it is, but you don't have to use Life Orb. Without Life Orb, you need a little bit more chip damage, so I advise some sort of spikes. And of course, because this Pokemon is only allowed in OU right now, that's how I'm talking about it. I'm not saying it's going to stay OU, but I think that with its Z move with Tough Claws, high tier RU, low tier, bottom tier UU, maybe banned from RU type talking about. That's just what I'm thinking, just speculation. But Accelerock just gives you that priority move, and again, you can run Life Orb, which I talked about in the other options, and I showed you why. Now, Choice Band, pretty much just getting this Pokemon and attack, and it just combines both the two sets. You have Stone Edge, Drill Run, Fire Fang, and Accelerock, again, just to have that strong priority move. This Pokemon, one thing that's to note about it, which is pretty cool, it is faster than Blacephalon. And it can also check Starf Blacephalon with Accelerock. So Choice Band hits hard. Tough Claws boosts Accelerock. It boosts Drill Run. It boosts Fire Fang. Unfortunately, Stone Edge is not boosted in itself, but hits hard. But I think from my experience, these two have been the most consistent sets. I've enjoyed PokeaimMD. Splintered Storm Shards looks amazing on Showdown. Looks amazing on Wi-Fi as well on the DS. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but it looks sick. And yeah, this set's been doing a lot of work too, because typically a lot of Scizors, especially if I'm not boosted, they won't bullet punch me immediately, right? Sometimes they'll defog if I have rocks up. So Fire Fang does a lot, if not KOs them if you're on the Choice Band set. If they take a little bit of chip damage. So I like this set a lot. Being able to hit Ferrothorn I think is pretty important. Though you do, of course, drop the priority, which sucks versus speedier mons. And this Pokemon doesn't have the benefit of Midday Lycanroc, that it has the Sand Rush ability. Again, it trades that for Tough Claws, but Tough Claws is good, man. It's a Life Orb boost on these type attacks, and again, making Drill Run stronger than Earthquake, and making Fire Fang so incredibly strong, actually being able to knock out Ferrothorn at +2 is pretty big. So I think that Lycanroc, before we go into the Sash one, again, I wanted to talk about it. I think that Lycanroc really benefits versus slower teams, this type of Pokemon. Obviously, you miss out. I think, obviously, you can't predict what matchups you're going to when you're battling, right? But versus faster teams, you appreciate Accelerock more, because you're able to pick off faster Pokemon. Again, Naganadel, Pokemon like Tapu Koko, a Greninja, if you're Life Orb +2, you knock it out. Again, I already mentioned those. Just some faster threats, and if you actually go through it, you can pick up like Mega Alakazam if it's weakened, a boosted Charizard. And the thing is, this Pokemon does get SDs versus certain mons, more so passive mons, right? Like, for example, it can live a Moonblast from Clefable, so it can set up on that, or maybe if you scare out something like a Heatran, because I think Heatran is going to be one of the Pokemon that you really do get to set up on as well, because of the fact that, you know, you scare it out with Drill Run that it now gets. So it does have opportunities to set up, though it is a little bit rare. It does get opportunities to set up, and this is the set that I've liked a lot versus the bulkier team. So the next set we have is the Sash Rocks, and I put this as an other option set, but I decided to give it its full set anyway. This is similar to a Lycanroc Midday set in RU, where it ran Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Taunt, and then Accelerock to be able to pick off priority. Because this does have a mixture of midday and midnight, you can actually run counter now. So the idea is you taunt to prevent your opponent from getting up their hazards, their rocks, or anything, and then you Stealth Rock or you counter. Like, for example, if you have this in the face of a Landorus, you can be a little bit risky and go for Taunt if you want, predicting the rocks to come out, since Landorus will typically go for rocks. Or you can go for counter immediately. If they do Earthquake you, your Sash will be activated, and then you can knock them out with counter. So pretty fun surprise set, but I don't think it's good. Like, I don't think you should use this mon as an anti-lead, but it is possible. It is possible, right? Another option is Accelerock over Stone Edge. Since the idea of this set isn't necessarily to, you know, power through your opponent or muscle through your opponent, but you want to be able to deal with, you want to be able to pick off like weakened Pokemon, for example, opposing Sash Pokemon, or maybe something you countered ends up living, or you want to, you know, you get that Tough Claws boost as well from Accelerock. So it's things like that, like just gives you priority, but the idea of is deny rocks from your opponent, set up your own rocks, maybe counter your opponent and getting off. So a few other options it does have. Again, I mentioned Life Orb, and I showed you some calcs as to why. Sucker Punch is an interesting option. I'm not sure what you would fit it on, maybe on the Choice Band set, but I feel like all of these are necessary. This gives you, you know, a check to Dragon Dance Charizard, for example. And again, I already mentioned why Drill Run and Fire Fang are opponent. Stone Edge is your main form of stab. Maybe Rock Slide if you don't want to miss is another option. Endeavor can work on the Focus Sash set. And it can work over the counter basically. And what it allows you to do, ideally this should be legal. Just checking anything goes to make sure. Yep. Okay. So what Endeavor allows you to do is you can still get up your rocks and prevent your opponent, but instead of getting playing the mind games with counter, for example, versus Landorus lead, you can just set up rocks immediately. If they go for Earthquake and they're slower, chances are they're rocking the next turn, so maybe you could taunt them and Endeavor them. So that's also another option on this. And then Thunderfang is pretty cool because it is powered up by Tough Claws. And do I have that calc here? I hope I have that calc here. No, I do not have that calc here. But I'll show you real quickly the calc difference between Stone Edge and Thunderfang versus Tapu Fini. I'm so sorry, I thought I had it open. I must have closed it by accident, but as you can see, Thunderfang is stronger than Stone Edge versus that. And with a Life Orb, it is a guarantee to a KO, but so is Stone Edge then again. But again, if they are max defense Tapu Fini, which isn't really ran, but it's something to always take into account, right? Thunderfang just does more. So that's all is an option as well. Also allowing you to hit Mantine for an accurate move and a KO, Pelipper for an accurate move and a KO, and just water types in general. But that's pretty much all I have to say about Lycanroc Dusk form. You guys can let me know your thoughts. Have you tried out the Pokemon? It's going to be really fun. Check out the showcase video, which is coming out later today. Also, if you guys want, you can pick up my limited edition friend shirts. Those are linked down below. Only available for about 11.5 more days. Happy Thanksgiving. I forgot to mention that to those who celebrate it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the showcase later today. So goodbye, friends.